And we're live. Jen, here comes the intro.
Okay.
You're listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Grow Clinton is a 501c6 nonprofit economic community development and tourism organization based in Clinton, Iowa. For more information, visit growclinton.com. Again, that's growclinton.com. Now, back to the show.
What's happening, all you amazing people out there in podcast land? Welcome back to episode 115 of the Grow Clinton podcast, recorded on this 13th day of May, 2025. As the intro said, Grow Clinton is a nonprofit organization with a focus on community, economic development, and tourism. As always, my name is Andy Sokolovich, President and CEO of Grow Clinton, your host for today's episode, and joined by Jenny Home from our office. Jenny, welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, I wasn't here the last time.
You weren't feeling well.
I wasn't. I had a horrible headache and I had to get rid of it.
Yeah, no worries. But
me
and Charlie Minnick,
Charlie.
we did a great job recording episode 114, where
Yes.
we focused on leadership and working through some of the struggles associated with leadership. You know what one of my struggles is about leadership?
What?
Fixing toilets.
Oh my goodness.
So today,
Oh,
now
leadership.
I've been fixing toilets in this building for 12 years now. I did some math.
You would think
Um,
there might be a solution out there.
Yeah,
for
no,
this.
you know, I don't mind. I mean, we call a plumber if necessary, but if there's a small fix that I can deal with on my own,
Yes.
we take care of it, from replacing toilet seats, dealing with clogs, fixing the guts of the toilets so they drain properly, all those things. I am a jack of all trades.
I have to say,
a
you
master
know,
of none.
since I've been here, you know, we've had various people in the leadership roles. Andy is very good about taking care of business around
Well,
here.
there was a time where, you know, I was renting an office space in this building. It's when I first moved here. So 2012, 2013. And I was like, for some reason, the go-to fix-it guy. I don't know why. I was just in here as a tenant leasing an office space. But anytime something went wrong, Karen at her front desk would go, Andy! And I go, yeah, it's Karen. And she's like, the toilet's making a funny noise. I'm like, okay, duty. I guess now I'm employed here.
Yeah.
So it is other duties as assigned, truly.
I
But
think a lot of people want to get rid of our one whistling toilet. I think it's fun.
I fixed it for a brief time.
For-
So
and
there
it
must
started
be,
working?
there's got to be air. Whatever.
Okay, whatever.
After the
Yes.
show, that's what I'll do. I will dedicate my time to fixing commodes in the Grow Clinton office at 721 South 2nd Street.
You know, it might have been those skills that got you hired in the
Yeah,
first place.
that's what
Hey.
I
I mean,
was
I'm
hired
just
to
saying.
do.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill a lot of birds with one stone.
That's a good way of looking at
All
it.
right, you know what never breaks,
What?
Jenny?
What?
That's right, folks. Miles Communications powering the Grow Clinton podcast with high-speed fiber internet. Check them out, milestelephone.com. Again, milestelephone.com for all your internet needs. Also offering television and telephone services. Again, we thank them for their investment in Grow Clinton and powering the Grow Clinton podcast. Great guest today, Jenny.
You know, I don't say this lightly, but we've got a guest in here today who is the champ, the all-star, the superstar of our community.
Wow, you're trying to get her a
That's
pay raise. I
impressive.
guess.
Hey,
Yeah.
do it. Give her a pay raise.
So we are joined in the
Yeah.
studio by Regan Michaelsen. Thank you so much, Regan, for joining us. You are the Director of Information Referral and Assistance Services, which is an amazing organization within our community. But some people may not even know what exists or what it is that you do. So we're going to leverage this podcast to help share your message. So what's your pitch? Give us the IRAS pitch.
Oh boy. Okay. So, a little bit of history. Information Referral has actually been in Clinton since 1979. Merged with Benevolent Society in 2021. We do like almost everything. So we help with rent. We do emergency shelter in hotels. We have the largest food pantry in Clinton, serving about average 40 people every day, Monday through
Wow.
Friday. Yeah,
Wow.
it's huge. Like we used to do that in a month. So to do it in a day now is pretty incredible. We do transportation. We do the Backpack Buddy program, which is a weekend food package program for kids who have been identified by their teachers and school counselors to likely go without food over the weekend breaks. Mobile food pantries. Gosh, there's so much like I always say when somebody comes in and they're asking for help, we never say no right away, because we can be really flexible in how we help people. Since we're not state or federally funded, if somebody needs their car repaired, if it means getting them back and forth to work and keeping them employed and it's within our means, then we're going to do that. So we're kind of, we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So these services are for individuals that are experiencing some form of crisis, whether it be financial or a housing crisis, and just need to get back up on their feet.
Right. Correct. And also, just people who maybe it's not even financial. Maybe somebody had a house fire and lost all of their belongings. We have a store that's full of free things. If we don't have it, we have Goodwill vouchers that we can give out. And so, so we can cover financial, we can cover just the basic needs of necessities, whatever it is, we can do it.
Yeah, that's a huge lift too. The Benevolent Society, to merge with them and take on their responsibility. They've been around since the 1800s.
Yeah. So when we merged, I think that they were in their 154th year, something like that.
My gosh.
So yeah, they were a really long-standing agency. I just happened to be on the board when they were in a transition between directors, and somehow it got mentioned like we should just be one thing, and I was like, oh, all right, let's do it.
Very familiar with that notion. Yeah, well, that's great. You do a phenomenal job. I am lucky enough to serve on the board for information referral assistance and services, and I am just blown away every month when we meet as an organization and you share some of the numbers regarding the amount of people that you serve, the amount of food that goes out the door, the grants that you're writing. It is amazing, and it is designed to help those people that are less fortunate. And I think it's incumbent upon everybody within the community to be willing to take care of their neighbors, regardless of their financial status or where they're at in their life, because most of us, I'd say a strong 80%, are paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just one disaster away from feeling what it's like to have nothing.
Exactly. And that's the people that we're serving. If they miss a couple of days of work because they've got a sick kid at home, that's definitely impacting their paycheck, and in turn, affecting their ability to pay their rent or utilities or whatever it might be. So, I feel like it's important for people to realize that. I think sometimes people think, have this stigma about the people that we're serving, like they're just not trying, or they're taking advantage of the system, and that is so not true.
Well, after all, you gave me some numbers, and one of them was it's up 147%. Is that right?
That's right. Just in the food services,
right? And
that's only our pantry. So there's a few other pantries.
Right.
I don't know what their increases, but yeah, for us it's 147%.
And that says a lot, because it says that is not just people who are not trying, that people are in crisis. And what you do every day is cute. It's right there. It's, immediate, and it's a really great service.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And, we're just really accessible, being right there on First Avenue, 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. Immediate needs are easily met in our building, so.
Yeah. One of the things that we realized too, going through, you said you don't receive any federal or state funding. So it does give us flexibility as an organization to issue services and assistance to really whomever we choose to, should the need exist. But where do we get the food for the food pantry?
So it used to be we got all of the food from Riverbend Food Bank, and then different food drives, Chris Streets does this freezing for food and is halfway. There's the postal worker food drive, which we just had Saturday, which was a great turnout. But now, Riverbend just doesn't have as much as they used to. And the cost of the staple items, we're not getting at that, really deep discounted rate. So, those items that are 16 cents a pound are maybe fruit snacks or, ketchup packets or whatever. And it's not the food bank's fault. They're having a hard time finding things to pass down to us at reduced rates. But it was just a couple years ago, we would go on there to place an order and there'd be 12 pages of, items for us to choose from. And we're lucky now if there's 4.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And so we have partnered with Hy-Vee. They have been generous enough to allow us to place bigger orders vendors with their trucks and give us a 10% discount. Aldi is also letting us make larger purchases there. But, that's definitely a strain on our budget, when we're used to paying a small amount for the food that we're passing out. And now, with the numbers growing and the cost of food increasing, I will say I've been with Information Referral for 22 years. I've been the director for 17. And, I always knew that we were going to have to turn people away for rent and shelter and medication, some of those just basic needs, but food was never really a concern. I just thought, we can always give out food.
Yeah.
That's never going to be a problem. And, this is the very first time in all of these years that I'm really actually concerned about our ability to keep serving the number of people that we're serving.
What type of food is the most needed?
I mean, what in a standard food box, we always have like canned meat, canned vegetables. We try to have soups, peanut butter, dry pasta, cereal, mac and cheese, boxed dinners, just the staple things that you think like when you go to the grocery store that you're going to put in your cart.
Stuff people like to eat.
Stuff people like to eat that's still, and we always are thinking about the nutrition piece of it also.
Right.
We want to make sure that we're not just feeding people, but that, we're feeding them healthy foods when we can. And so yeah. And then we always have like meats and stuff that we throw in there. Produce, we generally have. Walmart does donate to us on Mondays and Thursdays. And so we get a lot of meat, produce, things like that from them. But yeah, just the basic of things is what we try to have in there.
Earlier you mentioned like the system, and I'm going to jump on my
here
for a second.
Here we go.
Sometimes I feel like the system is actually designed to prevent people from success and from growing within their profession. Because I know when I first moved here, I had an acquaintance that I met through this building. Great guy, but I'll just say he was struggling to get by. And one of the things that I tried to do was help him find work. And we called a friend of ours through then the Chamber of Commerce and got this individual an opportunity to go and seek some additional work after hours. However, he did not want to do it. Do you know why? Because he would make too much and he would lose all of his assistance, specifically his medication assistance.
Yeah.
And it wasn't enough to get him over that hump where he could be self-sustained, but it was too much that he would lose all of his assistance. And without that medical card, without the ability to get his prescriptions at no cost that he needed to survive, he wouldn't been able to take this job. So he refused the opportunity. And at first I was like, oh man, this is a great opportunity. This is a stepping stone for you. But then reflecting and putting myself in his shoes, I absolutely get it. Because what are you supposed to do when the gap is not narrow enough for you to sustain your way of life, pay your bills, but also retain some of it? So why isn't the system like tiered? It's like you're in or you're out.
Right.
There's no in between. There's no gray area. And I just think that's wrong and should be adjusted.
It is. And then, look at childcare as well. If you start making too much money and it's still not a lot of money, then you lose that childcare assistance. And then how do you pay for your kid to go to daycare while you're trying to work when it's taking,
they call it the childcare cliff.
Right.
Yep.
And it is true. I mean, we've been working on the childcare scene for a long time. I'm trying to help individuals and companies alike identify ways that they can offset the cost of childcare because it's incredibly expensive.
More than the mortgages.
Oh yeah. Way
sure.
more.
Yeah.
And I just have one child in care right now. And it's nice because my wife works for the organization and it comes directly out of her paycheck. But man, if I had to double or triple that amount, I don't know what I would do. I mean, walking to work.
Right.
Right.
So it does seem like depending on what part of the system you investigate, there's definitely barriers to growth, and it is truly not fair.
It's not. And then you look at the income restrictions, like, what somebody's making a month when they're going and applying for state or county assistance. I mean, they can be over income by $1,
Yes.
and be refused.
No wiggle
So there's nothing.
Mhm.
And those income guidelines really are pretty low. I mean, you have to make almost nothing to qualify for some of those services.
Well, here's another thing too. I mean, I think people, whatever your opinions are, we're talking about adults right now, but there are children in our system who, don't have a fixed abode. They don't have, an address. They're in need.
Right.
And, it's not like it doesn't, I shouldn't say it, but I actually talked to somebody who said, we don't have any problems like that here.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Open your eyes. Yeah. No, I totally get it. It frustrates me to no end. And, when I had the opportunity to come and join your board, one of the things that I really wanted to do, and you and I have discussed this in the past, is really get the message out there.
Right.
Because even though we have some great larger grocery stores that are supporting us, every individual can support us. We're not going to deny or stiff arm if somebody comes to your office on First Street or Second Avenue.
First Avenue.
Jeez.
You got it.
I'm all over the place.
It's okay.
And wants to donate a ton of food to
Right.
you, right? Or hand over cash.
Right.
I mean, if you feel compelled to give back to the community and support an organization like Information Referral and Assistance Services, you are welcome to do so.
Mhm.
And we
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Very
It'd be
much.
great community service activity for schools or anything like that to get it together.
Yeah. Well, and the Clinton Middle School right now is doing a drive for us.
Oh,
So that's
nice.
awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
A group of kids are collecting cereal, peanut butter, and jelly.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Nice.
I know. And it
Perfect.
sounds like they're doing a really good job so far. So
Yeah,
pretty
that's
excited.
excellent. Nope, there's always a need. And no matter where you go, there's a need.
Yep.
I was in the military for 12 years, traveled all over the country. I don't think I've ever lived somewhere where there wasn't a need to support those less fortunate.
right.
Right.
And some areas are greater than others, but I feel like, when I was stationed down in the Southwest, we had a lot of unhoused individuals because the environment allowed for you to be basically unhoused for
Right.
the entire year because the climate supported it. But then we have areas like this where you see individuals that are walking around the streets in the dead of winter.
Oh,
And what a shame. And
Mhm.
you're right. The first thing we want to do as humans is judge them,
Right.
mm-mm.
say they have a problem, they need to get their stuff together. But man, that's not always the case.
Doesn't
No.
make it
They
less
need
cold.
support.
It really
Mhm.
doesn't. And one of my biggest pet peeves too is when somebody says, well, they want, I mean, they're choosing to be
Mm,
on the street. That
yeah.
is the silliest thing I've ever heard of.
Yes.
I
Right.
mean, I don't know anybody who would choose to be unsheltered, especially, in the hot and cold elements. That just doesn't make sense,
Nobody chooses it. I mean, you probably have you're one in a million that just
Right.
they want to live the life of like a vagabond. and
Right,
travel
right.
and don't want any restrictions. And
Yeah.
okay, I get it. It makes good for a
Mhm.
movie, right?
Right.
But the reality is you have a lot of people who may not even be on the streets. They may be couch surfing,
Mhm.
living on their friend's couch because they have nowhere to go or living in their car. So these are all people that we at Information Referral and Assistance Services focus on to ensure that we can help them at least live a decent quality of life and,
Right.
and get back on their feet.
Well,
And you do everything that you possibly can.
You're not talking about things that are luxury items either. I mean, what you have at IRAS is, clothing,
Mhm.
food, all kinds of things that you need now, right now.
Right. And when you talk about, people saying, the homeless isn't a problem here in Clinton, Clinton has the highest homeless population per capita in Iowa. So
Wow.
it's a problem.
Oof.
Yeah. And it's something we need to address. And I'm thankful for the organizations that are working hard and long hours to make sure that those needs can be met and that every person within our community is taken care of.
And then you have an angel who deals with it every
Oh.
single day.
Oh, an angel.
An angel. And I just don't know.
Nice. Who knew?
I don't think I don't know. I asked before we came on the air, how do you do it when you get home? What is your process of trying to live your own life and let go of some of the things that you have to see and deal with every day. And
Yeah.
ugh,
I mean, it's challenging, but
Yeah.
I really, when I say that, I don't feel like I'm going to work every day. That I mean, I really
Right.
mean that. I really like what I do. I have a passion for it, and I get up in the morning and I'm happy to go to work and do what I do and serve the people that we serve.
and
So
every day you make a difference.
I hope we do. I mean, I think we do.
I mean, you do. So, I mean, you can go home and know that you've helped people every day.
Yeah, what an amazing feeling.
Yep.
So, you get one shot at this thing called life,
Yeah.
and you can use your skills to help benefit others, or you can take them to the grave.
Right.
But I like that. I'm going to go when it's time for me to leave this world. I'm going to do my best to make sure that it's a better place, and that's all you can do, right?
Well, what's wrong
Absolutely.
with being kind?
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
I think
It doesn't cost a thing.
it doesn't, and it's just more people should be that
Yeah,
way.
just kind.
All right. So if you feel inclined to be kind, go ahead and drop off some non-perishable food items, clothing, whatever you got over to Information Referral and Assistance Services. They'd be happy to take some stuff from you and put it to good use. Regan, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. Believe it or not, that's been 21 minutes.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
I know it goes by
Yeah, it
fast.
sure does.
Yeah.
So one more thing. Another way to support us, we have our golf outing on June 6th.
Yes.
So there's still time to sign up. If anybody wants to, they can just give us a call. I'll get you plugged in.
What a fun way to give back.
I mean, it's a really good time. Everybody
Yes.
likes it. So yeah, if you like to golf, or even if you don't like to golf, I don't like to golf, but I'm always there.
You're there.
I don't try anymore, but
Yeah. I like to golf, but I'm not very good at it. So there's that. I spend more time looking for my ball and
Yeah.
eventually just give up. And then I always go out. Okay, we're playing a full 18. I'm going to buy 2 sleeves of balls, which is, I don't know, like 8 or something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that.
And I'll be fine. Never the case. Never the case. So towards the back 9, I'm chopping through bushes trying to find extra
I
balls
wanna
so I
play
can just
golf.
keep playing. Yeah, it's sad. One of these days, though, golf's one of those things where you have to take it seriously and you have to do it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you have to go out to the range and practice
Mhm.
and play. You're not just going to wake up one day and go out and be a phenomenal golfer. There's too much
No.
mechanics
Yeah.
involved in it. And I'm a grip it and rip it type of
Yeah.
golfer. So when somebody says, just do it like 60%, dude, I don't know
I
it's
don't
60%.
know what that
I don't even know what that means,
Yeah,
right?
I think what that means you're screwing me out of 40 extra percent because I'm going a hundo. I'm not messing around.
It's
All
like
right.
bowling, though. I mean, you can go one day and do great
Yeah.
and do the same exact thing the next day, and no,
Yeah.
not good.
Hmm.
But it lures you back in.
I guess so.
All right, Regan, thank you for everything you
Thank
do.
you.
Jenny, what do you got planned for the rest of the week?
I'm seeing a lot of people this week. I'm so happy about that. And I'm really excited to. I talked to a member this morning, and I'm not going to say because you're going to be on the podcast. It's going to be
Ooh.
a special guest, but they're so excited about doing it. They're so excited about doing a groundbreaking and a ribbon cutting. And these are the things that make me happy.
I think tomorrow at 10 a.m. we have the Alverno
I know.
coming to the Grow Clinton podcast.
They
So that'll
have-
be exciting as well.
Well, they have a lot of more activity in social
Yeah.
life than I have in my life right now.
A lot of stuff going on at the Alverno. A lot of big projects coming up in
Mhm.
their future. So we're very excited. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for that episode. Again, my name's Annie Sokolovich. Until next time, folks, just do me a favor and stay classy, all right?
Thank you for listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all your socials. Until next time, see ya.
Okay, let me stop this here and